Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Money Mondays on the No Closure Show. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you all had a great weekend. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into Texas foreclosure list. That's one of the biggest questions we get from people looking to buy notes or real estate in Texas. How can I find distressed assets in the Lone Star State? I mean, Texas is a very friendly, lender-friendly, landlord-friendly state out here. Fast foreclosures, pretty fast evictions. I mean, foreclose on somebody who's 90 days late in 21 days on the first Tuesday of the month, come rain or shine, holiday or not, is a pretty good thing if you're the lender. Now, if you're the distressed borrower, may not be the best thing, but with us, with what we do with buying distressed debt, Texas has been a great state to buy in, but it's also been a state that's going to be a little bit more expensive for you when it comes to it, because banks often know about the fast foreclosure timeframes. I've bought about 90% of my notes outside of Texas. Doesn't mean that if I see something in Texas, I don't jump on it. And it works in your favor with the speed, the velocity capital. You can pay a little bit more for a Texas note that's going to foreclosure because it's going to speed up the foreclosure timeframe. You want to wait 6 months or 12 months in a lot of cases. But you got to make sure, obviously, if the borrower is going to file bankruptcy or fight you on it, you may drag things out for you. But anyway, what I wanted to do is for years and years and years, I mean, literally one of the first things that I got associated with when I put on the real estate investing hat was, hey, where can I find foreclosures? And one of the first places that we go to is the Roddy list, we call it here in Texas. Okay. And I'll show you where the Roddy list is in a second, but I wanted to go through Harris County and give you guys a great example, especially when we're not going after the actual real estate, we're actually going to the debt. I thought I'd take the time to break down a list of Harris County foreclosures that the Roddy list provides. Now, this is just a quick map using Batch Geo. I took the first 250 addresses, and you can see it's a mixed bag of stuff of foreclosing. That's only a third of the foreclosures in Harris County. All right, I'll get to why it's only a third in a second here. But the Roddy list, here you go. It's the website you go to. We'll give you the link shortly. You can go to and give you a discount code to go to as well. This is a website that we've been using for years. I actually know George Roddy. He used to run a meetup here in Austin, started buying lists. And what do most real estate investors do with a foreclosure list? They get it. They send out postcards, yellow letters, letter campaign. They go knock on the doors trying to get after the foreclosure. Well, that's hard in Texas to get 2 mail pieces out in a 21-day period, right? So for years, we have looked at using these foreclosure lists to source non-performing notes or to find banks with non-performing notes that we can actually buy from. Now, I'm going to go through a spreadsheet a little bit, but let me give you a little bit of breakdown why we like Harris County as a good way for us non-performing. And I live in Austin, Texas. I mean, that's Travis County. Williamson County is right across the street here. Why wouldn't I be focused on Travis or Williamson County? Well, I'm going after the note. So I want to buy a list that's going to give me the most amount of lenders. And I'll tell you, there's more foreclosures taking place in Harris County than any other county in Texas. So that gives me a bigger list. Like, I think this last month, there's only like a 97 foreclosures in Travis County. And most of those were bigger banks. It didn't make sense for me. But if you go to this website, snip.ly-txfcl, that's actually a tracking link so I can see who's going there, how many clicks it gets. It's, and you go and sign up for a list in Texas and you use the discount code WeCloseNotes. I will actually get you $20 off any list you buy for the first month. Okay. Now, on the residential stuff, you renew monthly for that stuff. The commercial stuff is a 6-month time frame on it, but it literally, Roddy list there really helps. I mean, if you're looking in any county across the country and you track foreclosures, distressed properties, this is the list for you in the Lone Star State. Now, outside of Texas, you're going to want to sign up probably for foreclosures.com. We've also got a discount code for you on that as well, if that's something you're interested in. And that'll vary state by state according to foreclosures.com on how much information. But we're not actually going to the physical property. That's one of the biggest things you got to realize. With what we do, our niche going after the debt. So we use these lists to find lenders to narrow the list down. And now, if you want commercial real estate, you can actually buy a list of just commercial foreclosures. Now, that's going to do it by area. They break up the state into 5 areas: North, East, West, South, and Central Texas. Okay. Central Texas, we'll dive into that commercial list in a different episode. But that's a 6-month commitment. It's a more expensive list, to sign up for that list because it's a lot more great information. It's also higher valued assets. There's a lot of land, a lot of other stuff in it. We'll talk about that later on. But just to give you a bit of an idea, if you look back at February, it is now March. We're a week and a day out from the next foreclosure date for March, okay? But February, if we look back, there were 3,500 plus foreclosures across Texas. 3,500 for February. Now that broke down. If you just look at the Houston area, the Harris County niche of that, Harris County had 774 residential foreclosures in the county line. It's a fifth, basically, of the whole state. That's why we focus on Harris County. Now, if you're a realtor in Dallas or Tarrant County or San Antonio, you can pick up a list there and target those lists individually. Completely different. All right, if you want to go target that, we're going to target. We're not going to talk about what we use. We're not going to use direct mail campaigns with what we do here most of the time. There might be a few exceptions along the way. But for most people, they're going to buy a list, create a postcard, flyer, send it out, try to get the borrower to call them back, try to make an appointment to go out and see, or they're going to go door knock aggressively. Hey, we would like to help you avoid your foreclosure. That happens. I used to be in that racket. There'd be times I would walk into households that have 40, 50, 100 postcards or letters from other investors like yours truly trying to do the same, get the borrower to reach out to them. Well, when I got in the note business, I stopped dealing with the borrower on the front end side. I want to deal with the banks, and we still find this list to be one of the most effective aspects of things to give us hot leads to get to the right department, to get to the right person who sells the notes so we can get on their whole list across the country or across the state. Okay? And we get repeat business from on a regular basis. And so that's one of the things we're going to go through here. Now, there was also, out of this list of 774 we're going to dive into, 390 were listed previously. One of the great things about these foreclosure lists that Roddy provides is a lot of information we'll go through. But one of the columns is a previous listing. That's a hot button for us because it's probably listed for short sale or it's been dragging out for a little bit. Gives us a little bit more time, but it also means it's more distressed and the bank is getting a little bit more on the hook each time, but gives us a little bit more time to contact the lender to see if we can get more stuff, okay? If it's a new listing, it'll just say blank in that column. But anyway, I'll show you that a little bit later on. Now, as of today, I just checked this as of, what is it, March 22nd, 24th? I just checked the list literally right before we logged on here. And for March, it's a bigger list than February. 4,099 residential foreclosures across the entire state of Texas. That's up 20%, right? Oh, no, it's about 14%. It's about 558. And I looked at the commercial real estate across the whole state, and there's 531 commercial foreclosures across the state of Texas for the March 4th date. Now, this is not an ad for Roddy List, but if you'd like to get signed up, go to that link, snip.ly-txfcl. We'll put the link in the description so you guys can take advantage of it, but use the discount code WeCloseNotes to get 20 bucks off if you're buying stuff in the state of Texas or like anything in Lone Star State. Right now, it'll vary. Cost-wise will vary county by county. Some counties are 45. I think Harris is 85 a month. Well worth it if you're going to put it to work, okay? Now, let's do a deeper dive on the Excel spreadsheet, unless there's any questions you guys might have originally here from some of the folks who joined us live here on Zoom. And the thing about this, ladies and gentlemen, yes, if you're outside of Texas, you may not, well, I'm outside of Texas. There are lenders all across the country that lend in Texas because it is a lender-friendly state. Now, on the list we pull up, is there going to be nationwide lenders and then also local lenders? Yes, there will. There will also be private investors, LLCs, hard money lenders lending in Texas, specifically Harris County, that they're foreclosing on stuff. You'll also find private investors who have lent money on property that you could also contact to potentially fund your deals. Think about that. People foreclosing will either end up with an asset or sell it at the auction, and they'll probably want to put that money to work in another way. So let's do a deeper dive here on the Excel spreadsheet for you guys to take a look at. And that way we can help you educate and put this thing to work. Okay, so let's go over here and start at the beginning. You can see 775, that means 774 because the first one is, all right. So you have the upload time here. Let me just put these in bold so you guys can probably see a little bit better. Upload time, report date, the estimated equity. If they have equity or negative equity, it tells you there's a little negative button. Estimated margin percent, percent of equity. The estimated unpaid balance, UPB. The clerk number, year of the report, month of report, see it was February. City name of all these cities, Spring, Pasadena, all across Harris County. MapSco page, MapSco section, they used to put that in there. If you were driving around now, you got GPS, they don't need that. The classification of the property, if it's a single family, vacant land, condo, commercial, all that good stuff. The loan type, conventional, HOA, Fannie, Freddie Mac. Then you get in the address of the property. The street number, the address, bed, bath, garage. If it's got a pool, zip, the legal description 2, subdivision, the mortgager's first name, mortgager's last name, that would be the borrower. Then you have the mortgagee, which is what we're going to take a deep dive and look at. I'll highlight that in light green because we're definitely interested in that. All right. You also have the trustee. Now, the trustee is also important, and we'll talk about that. That's actually kind of part 2 to this list. Is it not as important as the mortgagee? But if you can't find somebody over at the mortgagee, you could contact the attorney to see about getting an introduction. Okay. Volume of when the actual mortgage was filed, page, the loan month that was originated, the year it was originated, the original loan amount, monthly P&I payment, interest rate, what month the loan expires year, the year of the construction of the house, the county assessed value, the square footage, the city code, number of units, if it was previously posted. This is the thing we talked about earlier. That you can see it's previously posted, which is great. Now there's also comments. Then you get the mailing address for the borrower. You also get the tax ID number, which I don't think that's accurate because it's the same tax ID number all the way across. Okay. Georeference, the foreclosure county. What is this foreclosure? What's this column mean? Foreclosure ID. Okay. You have the Zillow URL, and then you get into information, a cell phone number for the borrower, an email for the borrower. That makes it a little bit easier for you to dive into in a lot of cases. Now, let's just do a quick search here. So if they said, how many emails do they have? Let's do email 1. And we go here, out of 774 foreclosures, they have an email address for, that's almost cheating, if you know what I mean? To get an email address. Right now, we're about halfway through the list. And they have an email address for, wow, over half the list, approximately. So out of 774, they have an email address for 451. So roughly, was that just under 250? So just under 2/3 of the list has an email address. Okay. All right. But that's great, but not really important right now. So for us as investors, okay, I mean, that email, don't get me wrong, that email address adds a lot of value, right? Especially if you're using this not only for foreclosures, but potential subject to deals, trying to get the borrower to communicate with you if you're trying to take the property down. That's great, but not necessarily what we're looking for our end. We want the bank contacts. We're going to use this list to find, use this list as hot buttons to get into the right departments, to get their entire list across the country, at least across the state of Texas. So what we do is we go back over here and we're just going to sort this, resort it. I know I do these things a little bit differently than most people because we're doing things a little bit differently than most people. Custom sort. And we're going to change that to, you're going to go to the mortgagee, not the mortgagor. So hit enter mortgagee and do it A to Z. All right, so now that takes us over here to this list here. Now it's all in alphabetical order. Now let me blow this up here for you a little bit so you can see these lenders' names. All right, now what we're going to do, first thing we're going to do is, now that this is what we have, we're going to get rid of the lenders that aren't going to sell. What does that mean? That means we're going to get rid of the bigger banks, the Bank of Americas, the Chase, the Citibanks, the Deutsche Banks, those we're going to get rid of. You can also get rid of LLCs. I'm not a big fan of LLCs for the most part, especially if it's an individual. But the thing to know is, there's still a potential private investor. So you may want to hold on to that to see, hey, are you looking to lend? Are you looking to do some more deals? They could potentially be private lenders for you. So just keep that in mind, okay? So we're going to get rid of homeowners associations. That's because they're basically, we're not chasing HOA liens here for local. So we're going to just start deleting these things off, okay? Because we can always go back to the main list and get rid of this. We're just going to get rid of that list. We're just going to delete. ABL RPC Residential Credit Acquisition LLC. Don't know. We'll reach out to that. Sage Council of Co-Owners. That looks like it's an HOA, so we're just going to get rid of it. Advanced Federal Credit Union. We might take a look at that. All right. AJ 100K Investments. This is probably a hard money lender still working there. Allegiance Bank. Okay, so Allegiance Bank, there's only one. Allegiance Bank will make a phone call to. Ally Bank will take a run. Alpha Capital Management LLC. That's probably a hard money lender. We'll take a look at that. Okay. Amagi Bank's got two. We'll reach out to them. American Crowd, this is what I'm trying to get at. If you don't see a bigger bank on there, they may possibly be a potential source. Okay. AMI Lenders, Apex Bank, we'll take a look at. Arc Law, Tex Financial is probably a hard money lender in 3 areas. Arvis Bank, Athena Annuity of Life Company, they're on there twice. Might take a look at them. Bank Corp South Bank, they've only got 3 on here. We'll take a look. Now here we get Bank of America. This is where we want to spend some time getting rid of this list here. Bank of America, Bank of New York Mellon, Bank of New York Mellon Trust Company. Okay, we'll get rid of those. All right. And then we scroll down. Here we go. Like Bondaroff Family Revocable Living Trust. This would be a potential private money investor that you could reach out to. And you might reach out to the actual attorney, Rex Kessler, for maybe an introduction. Okay. Blessed Orchid LLC is probably a private investor too, as well. BMI Investments LLC. See, it's all being handled by the same attorney. Okay. So this Melina Kane is the attorney who's doing the foreclosure. It might be worth reaching out to them. It might not be. Some of these attorneys in these big, if they're representing a lot of lenders they're foreclosing on, or they're a big kind of firm, they may not even waste your time. But you get a smaller bank and a smaller trustee where you can probably get a hold of somebody, that's worth reaching out to. Okay. Bank of Oklahoma, NA, they might. Boomerang Capital Partners. Okay. Braeswood Condo Association. Nope, let's get rid of them. Briar Hills Property Owner Association, Briar Point Condominiums Owner Association, just to get rid of them. Okay. Bright House Life Insurance Company. I hadn't seen that. Okay. Might make sense to reach out to them, see what else they have. Insurance companies will sometimes have mortgages available. Okay. And now we're here at Brunswick Meadows HOA. Get rid of them. BSI Financial Services. That should be a servicing company, if I remember correctly. That's foreclosing. It's worth reaching out to them because we've bought notes that have been serviced by BSI before. Okay. And they're handled by 3 different individuals. So it might be worth reaching out to all 3 of them to get the right contact. Bum Investors LLC. Cadence Bank is okay. Let's see here. Capital 1A. I've bought commercial notes from them before. They're not going to sell you a one-off residential note. So we're just going to remove them from the list. Cardinal Finance, I don't know who that is, but we'll leave them. Carroll Corp Inc. Carrington Mortgage Services. Yep, just go ahead and delete them. They're not going to sell you usually a one-off note at all. They're going to want a big pool. And I mean, if you want to target them for a big pool, go right ahead. All right. Citibank, that gets us in here. Casas, Catalyst, Chow. So here you go. Here's somebody that passed away, private investor. But the investor looks like they passed away and their estate is foreclosing. Okay. Citibank, nope, we'll get rid of them. Same thing with Citigroup, Citi Mortgage, get rid of them. Citizens First Bank, a Citizens Bank NA might be able to. I've not bought from them or tried reaching out to them before, so they might be worth reaching out. Citizens First Bank is a different bank from Citizens Bank of NA. Okay. Civic Financial Services, don't know what that is. Click and Close Inc. Colonial Savings, there you go. Looks like Eddie Speed's company is foreclosing on somebody in Houston, Texas. All right. That's funny. I don't know what this is, so it might be worth looking at. The Contessa Capital, Cornerstone Home Lending, Cosmopolitan Condo Owners Association. Let's go get rid of that. Let's get rid of Countrywide as well. Boom. Homeowners, another home condo association. Let's get rid of it. So we're about 1/7 of the way through the list. Danbury Investments, Danny Wynn. See, these are all potential. Deutsche Bank, let's get rid of them because they're just not going to sell anything below a big portfolio. Okay. Now, on some of these private investors too, could you reach out to them to see if they'd be willing to sell the note? at a discount. They're probably not willing to sell it because it's a one-off aspect of things. They probably can't take a big, same thing with some of these smaller banks. They may not be willing to sell a one-off note. That's okay, but you're using these to get into the right spot. Face servicing, out of Chicago, they might be willing to take a look at it. Let's do Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation. Fifth Third Bank, I've gotten their list before. Finance of America Reverse LLC. That's a reverse mortgage company. You might be able to get something from them. Flagstar, we've gotten stuff from them before. Fondren Council of Co-Owners. No, let's get rid of those. Franklin Investments, don't know. Freedom Mortgage Company, this reverse mortgage company. Man, look, there's a lot of people that passed away. They're getting foreclosed on. You might be able to reach out to them to get their list. But for the sake of it, we're just going to, I know that I like to foreclose most of the time. So let's just go ahead. And delete them off. Okay. Gateway, First Bank, Get Sit, we bought from them. General Holdings, here's another condo association. Guild Mortgage Company, don't know it. Brookstone Trust, here's another condo association. Let's get rid of them. These are, when you start seeing HHI HUD 2024 2 LLC, I don't know. Let's look over here just for the heck of it. Now, notice I have not gone after the address. I haven't even looked at the addresses on any of these for, because I'm not focused on that. But I just want to see, let's see if these are residential houses or what. 3 bedroom, 3 bath. Yeah, so they're actual homes. So maybe it's probably a HUD loan. It's gonna be a little harder to get a hold of. So we're just, for the sake of going to get rid of it, because we're going to have plenty of resources to look at. Okay. Hi-Fi Hard Money, High Yield Realty LLC, Hong Nin, he's back on here again. Okay, he actually owns some property here in Austin. It's going to foreclosure. It's kind of funny. HSBC Bank, we're gonna get rid of them. Idaho Housing and Finance, I have not seen them before, but it might be worth well, they got a lot here. It's all the same attorney too. It might be worth reaching out to them. I don't know. I've never called them or contacted them before. So let's, to make it a little bit easier for us, where I think you're getting the biggest bang for your buck. I mean, reach out. What the heck? It doesn't hurt to reach out to them. We'll leave them in there. Okay. Independence Financial, Independence Bank of Commerce. That's IBC. We've bought notes from them before. Here's another Inverness Road Park Association. Get rid of your associations. Investor Lending LLC. Okay. James E. Alm, here's a private investor. James W. White, private investor. Jet Lending, that's a hard money lender. Jeffries Loan Corp, okay. JP Capital Group, okay. JP Morgan Mortgage Acquisition Corp, we're going to get rid of them because JP Morgan doesn't sell, except in big tranches. Right, so we got rid of them. Lakeview Loan Servicing does not sell on an individual basis. And they're foreclosing a lot. Usually know the bigger bank in a lot of cases. So Lakeview's, man, they're getting rid of a lot. So we're getting rid of Lamar, Council Co-Owners, Lancer, 10 Home Associations, Inc. We're going to get rid of them. Larry the Lender, LLC. That's funny. He's foreclosed on too. Lending R Us, who knows? Liberty Bank and Trust Company, Liberty's Banker Life Insurance, okay. Lone Ranger Capital, they're a hard money lender. They're not looking to sell. If they're going to foreclose, they're going to take the property back most of the time. Okay. Let's get rid of that. LoanDepot.com, Loan Care, okay. Lone Star Financial. These are all things that you pick up the phone and get each other. Los Pinos Investors LP, don't know. Let's see here. Here's another private investor. There's a trust company, Malv Fund LLC. Here's HOA foreclosing. We're going to get rid of them. Another borrower's passed, lender's passed away. Here's another HOA. We get rid of Mid First. They're not going to usually sell a one-off note. I've been down that list before. I mean, if you want to reach out to MidFirst Bank, you can. You can go to MidFirst Bank and look for special asset manager on LinkedIn. Okay. Capital Markets and see if you can't get a hold of the right person there. Okay. We're getting rid of Morgan Stanley Private Bank. They're not going to sell anything. Nation Star Mortgage. It's now Mr. Cooper, I guess you could say. You're going to get rid of that. You'd probably get rid of Navy Federal Credit Union as well, too. They may or may not, for the most part. New Residential Mortgage Loan Trust. I don't know that company. Next Bank. Let's see. North Point. Aquin Loan Acquisition Trust. No, go ahead and get rid of that. Let's go get rid of the Homeowners Association. Pacific Climbing. PennyMac might sell. So it's worth keeping them in there. PHH will sell their commercial, but not their residential. So we're going to get rid of them. PHH, Piper's Crossing Association. Okay. Plains Capital Bank might. Planet Home Lending looks like probably a hard money lender. Plantation Lake Civic Improvement Association. We're going to get rid of that. I know it's kind of boring, but just to give you an idea. Yeah, PNC is not going to sell. Let's go get rid of that. Popular Bank might. I think we bought from Banco Popular. Don't know if it's the same company. All right. Let's get rid of this. This is another homeowners association. Priority investor loans. Reach out to them. Red Oak. All right, here we go. Start getting more HOAs. Regions Bank may be willing to sell. PFF River. Nope. River Oaks. Council of Homeowners. Get rid of that. Rocket Mortgage. We've gotten a list from them on a regular basis, but they're usually in Texas. They're just going to foreclose for the most part. Okay. Let's keep going down here. Schumer Yarborough Development. Okay. Seattle Bank. I've seen them pop up, but I have not reached out to them. Security Finance Federal Credit. You can leave the credit unions in here. I know all the time, don't bother contacting credit unions on the normal, like reaching out basis, but they're foreclosed on too. It might make sense to reach out to for the heck of it, because every credit union might be a little bit different on it, but you're not going to see a lot from them. All right, Serve Bank, SB, Shell Point Mortgage Servicing. I don't know. It's a servicing company. Smith Mortgage, Soundview. Here's another one. Now, here's an interesting. St. John's United Methodist Church is foreclosing on an asset. Who are they foreclosing on? Oh. So St. John's, the Methodist Church, is foreclosing on the Baptist, Missionary Baptist Church. Where is this property located? Yeah, okay. It's a church in Houston. That's kind of funny. The Methodists are foreclosing on the Baptists. I've not seen that before. That's kind of interesting. But hey, maybe they'd be willing to sell you the note at a discount versus them being the bad guys and foreclosing. Okay. Stellar Bank, Sugar Hill Townhomes Association, Supreme Lending, Surplus Sales and Auction Company. We got some contractors foreclosing. Sydney Harbor HOA. As always, I mean, there's no differentiation on if this is a first or second that's foreclosing. So one of the things you're always going to want to double check is to pull title on the asset to make sure you're foreclosing from the senior lien position, first lien, not a second lien position. So some of these may be a second lien, junior lien. Okay. Texas Bay Credit Union, Texas Capital Loans, Texas Dow Employees Credit Union, Texas Funding, Bank of New York Mellon. Let's get rid of them. Owners Association, Grovewood Condo Association, the Owner Finance Company, Third Coast Bank, another private investor, Trident Realty, Truist Bank. We see some of Truist Bank's notes look at before, so it's worth reaching out to them. UMB Bank and United Wholesale Mortgage might be willing to. They're a little bit different. This is a net branch. in Houston. Looks like they're foreclosing on 3. It's worth taking a look at it. University Trace Condo Association. Let's get rid of them. U.S. Bank is not going to sell you a one-off note, so we can get rid of a big chunk of their stuff. Now they sell stuff, but in big tranches usually. All right, so let's get rid of U.S. Bank, U.S. Bank, U.S. Bank Trust. Yeah, they've got a lot they're foreclosing on. U.S. Small, USBA, we don't want that. Vanderbilt Mortgage is a lender for mobile homes. They do not sell. I've spoke to them several times. Okay. They won't, if they're going to foreclose, they're going to take it back unless you want to pay full value for it. So get rid of Vanderbilt Mortgage. Community Bank, I don't know. Wellbe Financial, Wells Fargo Bank, you can get rid of Wells Fargo because they're not going to sell a one-off note. Got a couple home associations. Okay. Wilmington Savings Funds Society. I think that's just get rid of them. They're not going to usually sell you a one-off note, if I remember correctly. I mean, you can try to track them down. It's a different attorney foreclosing on some of these, so maybe you can get lucky and get a hold of the right. So Wilmington Trust, get rid of them too, and then you can get that last one is Woodway Place Condo. So now that leaves us roughly. Let's resort this because we had some spaces in there. Custom sort. Okay. All right. So that leaves us. We take our original list, which was 774, and now that has brought it down to 374. So we got rid of basically 400, half the list, over half the list roughly. Now, there's some stuff you might get, but this would be the list that I work off of. Okay. And what I would do is I would then filter it by those that have the most. Like I would make a phone call to Idaho Housing and Finance Association. Let's do this. Idaho Housing and Finance. All right. Now let's, for the example, so we're sitting on good time here. Let's go on over here to LinkedIn. There we go. So we're on my profile here. Just go up to home. And let's just type in, let's just paste that in. B. Idaho Housing and Finance Assistance. They're out of Boise, Idaho. Okay. And let's look at Idaho Housing and Finance Corporation. You click it, that takes it over there. Let's look at people. And what we want to look down, oh, look, Capital Markets Manager right there, Mike Reap. So let's send him a message. Houston properties going to foreclosure. And then we'll just type in, hey, Mike. I see that Idaho So what I'm doing is typing this email, say, hey, Mike, I see that Idaho Housing is foreclosing on a chunk of properties in Houston, Harris County, Texas this next week. Would you be the individual to talk to about buying some of your non-performing notes on properties all across the country? I've been buying NPNs for my own portfolio for over 20 years. Almost, well, no, not quite, for almost 20 years. And would love to see if this might interest you guys. Thanks in advance. Look forward to talking. I'm gonna put my phone number down. He doesn't need my cell phone, or he doesn't need my email because he's literally in mail to him. 512-585-310. Now, I would make a note of that, Mike Reap, because then I would basically reach out and see if he's got. I'm gonna hit send. Send that through InMail. So it's one of my 45 monthly emails. I'm gonna click on contact information. Right? Nope, just that. Okay. So now what I could do is I could take his profile up here, hit copy, and go to oh, what was the website that we like using? It is I know I saved it here. I talked about it at the Rocket Reach. That's it, Rocket Reach. Put Rocket Reach in there. I'm going to paste his URL. And there it is. And now I have it. Let's see what we have here. I have a work email, potentially. I have a generic phone number. Okay. He might not be the right guy. All right. But he's a capital markets manager. That may be worth reaching out to. But I have ihfa.org. So I could do Mike Reap, Mike.Reap. You know, that's the kind of stuff. Let's see if it'll let me get contact info. Mike Reap, Mike, there we go. Mike R at ihfa.org. Copy. And I'll go over to email. Hit new email. Hit paste that in there. Hey, Mike, I'm going to say Idaho housing, foreclosure, properties in Houston, Texas. I'm going to say urgent. And say, hey, Mike, I came across that you might be the right person at IHFA to discuss the list of properties that you are foreclosing on in Harris County, Texas. I'm actually interested in buying the debt on these or others or other non-performing notes that IHFA holds across the country. Would you be that person? Would you be the right person to talk to? Buying for my own portfolio, and I've been buying notes for almost 20 years. Thanks. I'll put my phone for 512-585-3810. Max. Now what we're going to do on this one, we're going to put an important thing. We're also going to put, let's put a read receipt on this thing. Request delivery and a read receipt. And hit send. That way, if we see that he gets it and opens it, now that we know it's the right email, we know that he's looked at it. So that was what we could do with that aspect. Now let's take it back. Let's go back a little bit further. Back to LinkedIn. And let's do the same thing again. Whoops, let's click on LinkedIn up here. Let's go back and see if there's another person at. All right, let's see here. Loan acquisition specialist, no. Communications coordinator, accounts payable, no. Accomplished director of operations, no. That might be, they might all be HUD loans. In that case, they may not be willing to sell them all off. Let's see, closing coordinator, president, Idaho. I think I always reach out to Gerald Hunter. Go to the top. Just trying to see if there's a special assets manager, secondary marketing, vice president loan servicing. No, we don't want to call the servicing department. Pooling loans for Idaho Housing and Finance Association. That's something I've not seen before. Well, what they're doing is pooling loans basically from their other branches. So that's not the right. It's probably not the right. Okay. Idaho Housing Finance Director of Home and nope, nope. I'm just going through the different. I'm looking for a hot button. Special assets, secondary marketing, whole loan trader, not loan acquisitions. It's hazard claims, nope. Database administrator. Secondary marketing, Kara DeWitt. That is what we're looking for right there. Secondary marketing. Let's click on her profile. She's only got 12 contacts. So sending a message on here isn't going to really help anything, but let's go back over here. Bingo, bango, bongo, baby. All right, let's drop it into Rocket Reach. Same thing. Let's go home. Let's drop Kara's LinkedIn. Let's see if we can't find something for her. Kara DeWitt, same thing. Phone number, get contact info. But we already know how it's set up, right? It was with the previous guy, it was Mike R. This is probably Kara D. Look at that, Kara D at IFGA. Perfect. So we're going to copy that email. Copy. We're going to go over here at mail. Oh, look at this. You see? Oh, this email was deleted without being read on Monday. Well, that's interesting. Okay. They didn't like it. Your message selected there was a destination list below. Somebody deleted without reading it. Well, let's go over here, try it again. Let's try Kara. And let's go what we just sent. We'll just copy the same message. Drafts. Harris County foreclosures. Houston, Texas. We'll just say urgent. Same thing. Hi, Kara. Came across. Same thing. Let's go ahead and put options on it. Press delivery receipt. Press read receipt. Okay. And let's go ahead and make it. Let's just hit send. See what happens. It's been sent. All right. See what happens if anything pops in there already. Okay. But that's what you do. That's literally the process of going through this on this list of looking to see if you get the right person in contact. Hey, you know, you can hire a VA to do this for you as well. I like looking on LinkedIn, see if I can find that information, use Rocket Reach. But the biggest thing, it all starts with a list. So the Roddy list, if you're looking for stuff in Texas, or you're looking for distressed stuff, or investing in Texas is one of your things, you know, the Roddy list is what it is. And once again, if you want to go to, we'll share the link to the the tracking link so you guys can, and then the discount code so you can get $20 off your monthly order. That for you. It's their design to help you out. And when I approached the guys over at Foreclosure and Listing Service about helping you guys, they were all for it. They love what we do here. They know we've been clients. They know we've promoted them. And you guys know me. I don't promote something that I don't use that's not going to be or not going to be valuable to what you guys use. And if you're looking for stuff, this is a great way to find distressed assets or distressed notes or banks or lenders, banks or private investors or hard money lenders who have distressed notes looking to foreclose. Maybe they're willing to sell. What's the worst thing going to happen? They could say no to you, right? So that's kind of what I wanted to go through with you today here on Money Monday. I hope this was valuable. Did you guys have, I go with a few folks here online. Did you guys have any questions about what we discussed today, going through this list for you? You know, pretty, once you see me go through it, it's pretty cut and dry, right? Now, one thing I meant to bring up here before, let me jump back over here and share the spreadsheet with you one more time. Here we go, back to the spreadsheet. Okay, so now let's go over here. You see the list. Let's go over to the previous listing, and just now filter this by previous listing. There we go. And say just yes, get rid of the blanks. And those have been on there before. So there might be a little bit more motivated to get rid of some of the stuff, like Arvest Bank or Bank Corp South. Doing the same search. Hey, see, you got a foreclosure on here. It's been listed on the MLS, been listed for foreclosure for quite a while. Now, a lot of times they may be listed for foreclosure. So the great thing about this, if it's been listed for foreclosure like it is, but also listed on here and it's been a previous listing, it may actually already be up for foreclosure. I'm sorry, be on the MLS. Okay. So let's do that. Oops. Let's just go over and copy, paste it in, share. And see if just this one alone has been on the MLS. So no. Oh, wait, it had. It sold. When did it sell? So it sold a year ago. So this is somebody, see, you got nice photos on this. Yeah, this is a listing from a year ago. So they bought it. Somebody bought it in March. Let's go back to the list, shall we? Nice looking property. 2538 Southgate. All right, let's look here. Escape. Let's just highlight this. You see what I'm talking about here? We look at the numbers on. Okay, so was probably a hard money loan. Oh, they got a little bit of equity, 109,000. That's still not bad. Unpaid balance 524. And you say it's a commercial loan. So, yeah, basically March of last year they bought it for 522. And it expired. It was a 6-month loan. So it was all, yeah. See, this has been basically matured since September. It's valued at about 633. They bought some money down to it. So that's what you can see. Same thing with this. Would it be worth if there's no email there? That might be something to think about there for you. Anyway, but that's what I'm getting at. That's a potential. Let's reach out to them and see. Well, let's see if it's been on there for 6 months. If they're motivated and selling the note. Now let's see who the borrower is. We start a lender. What did I do? Okay, previous listing, yeah. And this is BFSR3 LLC. I have no idea who that. But these LLCs might be a little bit easier to find. Okay. Boom. Let's go over here to this. New. Spacious Estates, BFSR3 versus Spacious Estates. Oh, this is so okay. I'd be willing to bet that this is, well, they're this foreclosure sale, Boomerang Properties. These addresses, Boomerang Capital Partners. So this is a company. Yeah, okay. There you go. So versus is care of Boomerang Capital Partners. Let's look at this. Now we have the foreclosure listing here. This is another one in Houston. This is back last year. So yeah, Boomerang Capital Partners LLC, 2152 South Vineyard Drive. Okay. Capital Partners. All right, so they're a hard money lending company. There's a phone number to call on them to see if they're interested in potentially selling the notes, since they've got a few that they're foreclosing on here. So asset-based renovation financing and asset-based flips, 6-month loans. Okay. Yep. See, cosmetic flips. Our team, managing director Andrew Bang, director of lending, vice president loan officer, loan processor, analyst. I'm just looking to see if we can see anybody that's a operations assistant. No. So what we'd probably do is call them, and probably director of lending, Mr. Bang, Andrew Bang. Is there a link on here? No. Let's see here. About us, our team. Let's see, is there a contact thing? Yeah, you can do this here. So you just say, yeah, we could do this. I'm trying to reach the right person in charge of your non-performing interested in seeing if your firm is interested in selling the notes on your foreclosed on the properties are foreclosing on in Texas and across the country. Thanks. Submit. We'll see if they respond, and then I can always pick up the phone and give them a phone call. All right. That's kind of interesting thing. There we go. So LLCs are an entity. Hard money lenders may be willing to sell. They may not be willing to sell. That one's got some equity in it. It's been listed or was sold. Maybe you can pick it up, even with a little bit of a discount. If you can foreclose quickly, right? You make 10, 15%. Now, the whole thing about this is they're probably not going to sell that one if it goes to foreclosure this month. If it goes to foreclosure in a week, they're probably not going to sell the debt. They're probably just going to go finish it. But that's Texas. Maybe they have stuff elsewhere that's in a longer foreclosure process. This one's been around since September. Maybe they're motivated to sell it at a bit of a discount. And if you can buy that note at a bit of a discount, even 10, 20% below the full payoff, that's a 10 to 20% profit at the foreclosure auction next month or whenever it happens. And you buy that note, if that foreclosure has been delayed, you can always go in and say, listen, or it's been stalled waiting, go ahead and finish it off. Like, listen, you've had 6 months basically, or actually, yeah, this is coming up on 6 months to get this thing done. It ain't going to happen. Let's go ahead and foreclose or do a deed in lieu of cash for keys and go from there. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns about this stuff, guys? This is not rocket science, but it is designed for you to find deals. And yes, a little bit of work, but it pays off big. Because what if you get an Idaho Savings or whatever the other company we're looking at, to literally send you their list every month, every quarter, every week? That's continued deal flow that you ain't got to send any postcards out, any letter campaigns. All you've got is the only thing that's cost you so far would be your subscription to the Roddy list or your foreclosure list, your email, and your internet free for the most part, or your phone service. So go out, take some action, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully it was helpful. Go get signed up for Roddy today, Roddy's list, FLS Online. Use the code WeCloseNotes to get your $20 off. And we look forward to seeing you at the top. Go out, take some action, everybody, and we'll see you later. Thanks, everybody, for joining in.